Season's greetings from the Bermuda Public Service Union. The Executive, General Counsel, and Secretariat wish you a happy holiday and peaceful and prosperous New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday, December 28th, 2017. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. Culture is seen as the greatest obstacle to eliminating drink driving on Bermuda's roads, so says CADA. Ahead of the New Year's Eve celebrations, Executive Director of the Anti-Drink Driving Agency reminds revelers to always bus, cab, or use a designated driver after a night out. However, he says changing the island's attitude toward the dangerous behavior is critical.
It sounds like the ever-continuing saga. You know, I think, though, Jasmine, I think the ball may have finally dropped that we really do have an epidemic on our hands as it relates to drinking and driving in this community. I always use the 2008 as a start date for numbers that I use so that sometimes people would understand, well, why are our numbers any different from anyone else's? And that's simply because in 2008 we had 17 road fatalities, but it was also the year that the then Minister Dale Butler commissioned a report on how do we make significant changes to change the culture or relationship with alcohol. And here we are 10 years later, 117 road fatalities, roughly on average 200 crashes per road fatality. So we're thousands of people later where finally the ball is maybe dropping. And so we hope and continue to work and pray that the decision makers are going to do what is necessary to make the necessary changes in Bermuda's culture. You know, Dr. Joe Francione says, we can fix this problem, but as he's a medical doctor, he says, but guess what? There's going to be some pain. But if you want to get better, we can fix it. So you may have to have a little pain, but a little pain simply means that in the long term, in the long run, you're going to be a whole lot healthier.
He adds legislation in order to reinforce safe driving habits is crucial.
I want to say that people say they hear us. Hearing us and doing something is completely different. Now, we hear that we're going to be getting sobriety checkpoints. The Premier is committed to it, but the previous Premier committed to it as well. And the Premier prior to that one committed to it. Many transport ministers have committed to it as well. So we're just way past commitment, but we're looking for action.
We've seen a higher police presence over the past few weeks. Does it go far enough?
We appreciate the fact that they have a higher presence over the last few weeks, but we need social hosting laws. We need sobriety checkpoints. We need an alcohol bureau of control. Those are great little quick fixes, but that doesn't do anything to change the culture. If we change the culture, then we don't necessarily have to rely on the police to have a presence because we have an environment that's been created where people know instinctively that they don't drink and drive. 10 years ago in Britain, everyone drank and drove, but they don't anymore. We're 10 years behind the 8 ball, and so when we change the culture, we don't necessarily have to rely on the police to actually be policing because it's just not done anymore.
CADA's Let Us Drive service will be available this Saturday night from Hamilton free of charge. Stay with us, more after the break.
You can count on us.
Your choice of potatoes, 5-pound bags, only $4.99. Fresh certified Angus beef, top-round steaks, only $6.99 per pound. Mountain Dew, mug root beer, or Pepsi soda, 2-liter bottles, just $3.89. Yoplait yogurt, 6-ounce tub, only $1.09. Scott Select-A-Size paper towels, 1 roll, just $1.79. Have a happy and safe New Year from the marketplace.
You can count on us.
Santa suits.
And party hats.
Letters sent.
Gifts neatly wrapped.
It must be Christmas. Let the magic begin.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Colonial, where people come first.
The Community Education and Development Program winter term registration dates are January the 2nd through January the 12th, 2018. For further information, please call 292-7735 or 236-0829. You can also visit their website at www.gov.bm.
We are just 3 days away from the start of the new year. Looking back, 2017 was a big year for us in news, with several major developments unfolding that will not be forgotten for years to come. 2017 saw key resignations from a weakened government, the start of a new hotel, Bermuda on the international stage for sailing, same-sex marriage, a new government, plus many more. In this special feature, Our To Ride Trot looks back at the top 10 news stories for the year.
Of all the things 2017 will be remembered for, it will be for the political developments that took place. The year began with a shock announcement in mid-March by then MP and former cabinet minister Mark Pettingill, who announced he would remove himself from the ruling One Bermuda alliance, his decision only weakening the OBA's grip on power as opinion in the country began to turn against them.
And I intend to sit as an independent member in Parliament for the duration.
Mr. Pettingill also stating at the time he would sit in the House of Assembly as an independent MP and retire from politics at the next general election. Other developments taking place in 2017 included the groundbreaking for construction of the much-anticipated St. Regis Hotel in St. George's that happened on May the 4th. When completed, the property will boast 120 rooms, condominiums, a casino, spa, and 18-hole golf course. Government at the time stressed the public would continue to have access to the Fort St. Catherine beach throughout the lifetime of the hotel. Then Premier Michael Dunkley said at the time the development marked a new lease on life for the old town, which was desperate for development and a breath of fresh air.
We believe that in this year, in 2017, it's a breakthrough year, as I said in my comments. We've got the airport construction, now we have this, and I know that employers are going to be searching high and low for Bermudians to get involved. So, Jasmine, I take this opportunity this afternoon as we stand at the east end of the island to appeal to people to come forward, get back involved in hospitality industry.
One of the biggest news events of the year was the landmark ruling from the Supreme Court on May the 5th that said the government could not discriminate against gay couples, and effectively they had the right to marry. Bermudian man Winston Godwin and his Canadian partner Greg DeRoche brought the lawsuit led by lawyer Mark Pettingill.
Mark honestly pulled through. I honestly cannot thank Mark and the legal team enough for this. It's a big day for Bermuda. It's a big day for the LGBT community of Bermuda. It's a big day for people.
The court's decision shocked and upset the island's conservative religious community, which viewed the judge's decision as an attempt to redefine marriage and going against the wishes of the majority of the people who had voted down gay marriage in a referendum in 2016. News of the court's landmark ruling reverberated around the world, with Bermuda hailed as a progressive and bold jurisdiction. However, the celebrations by gay activists that were planned would ultimately be short-lived. On May 25th, trade union leaders dominated the news when they made a grand appearance at Magistrates Court, accused of committing offenses related to that controversial December 2, 2016 standoff with police outside of the House of Assembly. Some members of the public had been accused of blocking access to the House to members of Parliament who were set to debate the unpopular plan to privatize the airport for more than 30 years. The day was described as one of the darkest in history for relations between the police service and the public. To contain the situation, police made the fateful decision to use pepper spray, a decision that turned to rage. Ultimately, the legal claims against union leaders went unproven when the Crown decided not to proceed with the prosecutions. One member of the public pleaded guilty to assaulting a police officer with an umbrella. You can't mention the month of May without mentioning the start of the long-awaited America's Cup on May 27th. The first time the prestigious sailing extravaganza took place in Bermuda thanks to efforts by the OBA government. The event began in earnest despite inclement weather. Ian Rollins led our news team in covering the event from day one.
The official start of the event was postponed due to inclement weather conditions. However, local and international fans turned out on Saturday in droves. Cameraman Gareth Fletcher and I had the opportunity to speak with locals and international spectators on their thoughts of Bermuda hosting an event of this magnitude.
However, the joyous events of the America's Cup came to a halt with the news on June the 10th that independent MP Sean Crockwell had been found dead in his home. In July of 2016, Mr. Crockwell, by then disillusioned with his OBA, decided to walk away from the party. He had revealed in early June 2017 that he planned to vote against the OBA government in the House of Assembly if the then opposition PLP brought forth a motion of no confidence in the government. His intentions effectively forcing the hand of then Premier Michael Dunkley to call the general election for July the 18th earlier than he planned to avoid an embarrassing defeat. Mr. Dunkley, then opposition leader David Burt, and many others praised the life of Sean Crockwell and the legacy of politics he had established. Perhaps the biggest event of 2017 was the July 18th general election, in which the Progressive Labour Party, which had lost power in 2012, regained power in a trampling victory over the OBA, capturing 24 parliamentary seats to the OBA's 12. The OBA government had been accused of failing to listen to the people and heavily criticized for its handling of unpopular matters like the airport privatization, the explosive Pathways to Status plan, economic distribution, and others. The election also set a precedent for PLP leader David Burt, who became the country's youngest premier at age 38.
This belongs to all of you, because all of you saw through the negative attacks. All of you saw through what they tried to say about the PLP, and you believed in your heart that the 36 of us, together with all of you, could change the course of our country.
August 10th, the long-awaited report on the police clash with the public outside of the House of Assembly on December the 2nd was made public. Many in the community were eager for the report to judge the police use of pepper spray. However, they were disappointed as the report failed to outright state whether or not the reaction by police was justified. The report noted the spraying could and should have been avoided, and it criticized the police command for its planning and preparation. The report described the events as a bad day for Bermuda and a scar in Bermuda's history. While the Independent Police Complaints Authority found mistakes were made within the police service over the incident, it could not uphold 26 complaints brought against officers during the incident. The 9th and 10th biggest stories of 2017 saw the Senate pass a domestic partnership bill on December 13th, when they also approved amendments to the gaming legislation allowing government to provide direction to the Casino Gaming Commission Board. Parliament's decision to overturn gay marriage, causing worldwide media coverage of the island again, this time mostly critical coverage with gay rights activists on island and overseas lambasting Bermuda's decision as an attack on human rights. The ruling party said the reversal was the wish of the majority and was consistent with their pre-election pledge. Despite Parliament's approval of the bill on December 13th, still no word on whether or not Governor John Rankin will sign the bill. And that's our year in review for 2017. I'm Tarai Trott.
Indeed, what a year it was. Well, tomorrow it's mainly dry conditions expected with cloudy skies and moderate to strong winds gradually becoming lighter into the afternoon. Let's take a look to see what else is in store for us weather-wise over at the AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. Good evening, Bermuda. I'm your AccuWeather meteorologist, Daji Aswad. Here across the island, we're still dealing with very cloudy conditions behind this frontal system. And here's the front pushing its way to the south behind that colder air and clouds filtering its way in. But don't worry, most of that frigid cold air will be pushed to the north of us, and we'll just be feeling just a tad bit cooler. Current conditions, we're looking at our temperatures in the lower 60s, humidity around 67%, winds out of the north 12 to 16 knots, water temperature expected to be 68 degrees, waves in the reef 2 to 3 feet, waves out 5 to 9 feet. Now, as for tonight, clouds still sticking around, and I'm not ruling out the possibility for a shower or two behind that frontal system. They will be very brief in nature if you see any at all. Low of 59 degrees. As for tomorrow, another system is coming through the area, and that means we could see some showers as well as rain, especially in the afternoon hour. That rainy condition will continue into your Saturday morning and then diminish. For your high temperature, 64, low expected to be 60. Once again, not getting bitterly cold here, just a little cooler than normal. So here is a look at our high tides. High tide number one will happen today at 4:01 p.m. Our next one is expected at 4:48 a.m. for your Friday morning. We do have a small craft small craft warning out until tonight. That will diminish as the winds ease off behind that frontal system. For our getaway forecast, we're looking at that cold air here in the United States. New York, 24 degrees, 18 for the low, 17 in Boston, and 8 for the low. So some single-digit temperatures. And if you're traveling for the holidays to the northeastern states, you'll definitely need to bundle up. As for Miami, 81 degrees with some peekaboos of sunshine. Overall, warm weather, so that's a great spot to be headed to if you are headed there. As for our current conditions across the Caribbean, looking at some moisture out towards Barbados and the way of showers, as well as Trinidad, looking at some showers and potential for rain. Jamaica, on the other hand, mostly sunny skies, topping off at 88 degrees. And for our extended forecast, once again, tomorrow, another round of wet weather, this time more in the way of rain, and that will continue into your Saturday morning, and we'll see that rain taper off into your afternoon. Then Sunday, potential for another front to come into the area, bringing us some showers and rain. And I know it is the holiday, so keep that in mind. You might have to change some plans around, have your umbrella with you as you watch some fireworks. And then it's your Monday, a brief break from the wet weather, but then by Tuesday, potential for some more wet weather to come in. Right now, just playing it as clouds. Temperatures not cooling off too much as we head into your extended forecast. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. And if you need to stay tuned to the local news, please be sure to stay tuned to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for all your latest news and updates.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
This is an important and valuable message from the Ministry of Transport and Regulatory Affairs to all of Bermuda to take more care on our roads.
This is Deputy Premier and Transport Minister Walter Raban. In 2017, once again, Bermuda lost too many lives on our roads. You don't need a holiday to know that you should think before your first alcoholic drink. If you intend to consume alcohol, do so responsibly. Have a strategy for getting home without driving impaired. Join the smart ones this holiday and plan ahead. Think before you drink. Help make this a happier and safer holiday for everyone. Join me, the Bermuda Road Safety Council, and CATA in a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Think before you drink.
Blurry-eyed following your eye appointment? Had one too many? Or simply too tired to face the drive home at the end of a long night? There are lots of reasons why you couldn't and shouldn't get behind the wheel. Introducing HomeSafe from Security Associates, the island's only car and driver home delivery service. Reschedule with us and a HomeSafe driver will deliver you and your car right to your door. Whatever your reason for not driving, you can always get HomeSafe. Call 298-2626 for pricing and to find out how you can become a member, or visit homesafebermuda.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Now let's join Earl Baisden with tonight's sports report.
In what can only be described as another marathon semifinal doubleheader, took place last night at the BAA Field in Shield and Friendship action.
One game went down to the wire while the other needed extra time with a total of 11 goals scored. In the Friendship semi-final, it saw the cup holders Devonshire Cougars fall 3-2 to the North Village Rams. This game started off with both teams trying to field each other out, but it was Alan Douglas Jr. who would put the Devonshire Cougars in front when he scored from close range in the 15th minute. 1 minute later, it was 1-1 when Shane Hollis controlled the ball well on the top of the box and found the back of the net. In the second half, if the team still locked at 1-1, Moses Steed would put the defending champions Devonshire Cougars back in front in the 54th minute, but Keishan Bean would equalize for the North Village Rams in the 61st minute. Bean would then score what proved to be the winner in the 78th minute to earn the North Village Rams a spot in the final at the Wellington Oval. For the second day in a row, the Shield semi-final went extra time with 9-man Paget defeating Wolves 4-2 after extra time. Marco Piper gave Paget the lead in the second minute, but Stephen Bremer would equalize for Wolves when he found the back of the net in the 22nd minute. In the 33rd minute, Paget would go back in front when Tajay Welch scored. But in the 55th minute, and with the lead, Paget had a player sent off for a second bookable offense. Stephen Almeida scored for Wolves to level the score at 2-2. Wolves would have another player sent off for a second bookable offense later in the match, as it would end 2-2 and need the extra 30 minutes to decide a winner. The teams were still deadlocked after the first 15 minutes of extra time, but DeMarlo Curtis would strike for Paget in the
106th minute, and when Robert Richardson scored in the 119th minute, the Paget Lions booked their ticket to the final. Meanwhile, goals from John Tay Smith and Leon Redwood helped lose to a comfortable victory over local rivals Hastings in a competitive derby at the Pen.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
Bermuda Winter Olympian Tucker Murphy was back in action competing in the Kendali Azarum cross-country skiing event in Turkey. Murphy competed in the men's FIS 15K race, finishing 14th, clocking a time of 42:49. The 2017 Orangeville Sailing Regatta got underway in Florida, with Bermuda sailors putting in strong performances. After one race in the Laser Fleet, Ben Smith was in 7th place. 2 races down, and Smith had moved to 10th with 19 points after finishing 12th. And then with a 7th place finish in the 3rd and final race of the day, Smith came off the water in the 10th place position with 26 points. The Optimus Green Fleet has 71 competitors, with Bermuda having 7 out of the 8 sailors in the fleet all in the top 40. After 4 races, the Bermuda fleet is being led by Matthew Aruda, who is in 3rd place, and he has 33 points after finishes of 19th, 2nd, 5th, and 7th. In 11th place is Trey Whaley, who has 55 points with a win in the 3rd race of the day. Ava Rossa is holding the 13th place with 57 points, while Sarah Davis is in 19th with 86 points. Isaac Wickramage is holding down the 22nd spot with 97 points, while Sam Redman is 33rd with 131 points. William Braxton is in 38th with 149 points, and Sierra Wells is in 47th with 191 points. Sebastian Kemp is in 41st after 3 races in the 263 Sailor Optimus Blue Fleet with 61 points. Magnus Ringstad is in 71st with 84 points. Rachel Bechart is holding down the 131st spot with 129 points, while Laura Hopman is 141st with 137 points. Amelia Lewis is in 175th with Nicole Stovall 214th. Gabrielle Braxton is in 226th with Jack Roberts holding down the 230th spot. Ben Redmond rounds out the fleet in 227th. Triathlete Tyler Butterfield is one of many athletes who are home for the holidays and is looking to compete more on local soil. One can expect it sooner rather than later.
So I'm planning on coming back for International Race Weekend. So is it 2 weeks from now?
Just about, yeah. 2 weeks, yeah.
So I'm planning on maybe just doing the marathon. I don't know if I'll do the triple challenge.
Right.
I haven't been doing much speed work. After the race weekend, I have a training camp in Arizona where I'll switch to doing more speed work towards the Calm Games. But that's the plan. So already I'm starting to come back more. Right. It's always a hard one. I still want to try and achieve. I'd like to achieve better than 5th in Hawaii.
Yes.
And physically, I think it's possible, but you have to have the whole package. You have to be willing to make the sacrifice. And those sacrifices are staying overseas and just literally every day, 3 times a day, keeping life as simple as possible. It's not just traveling to Bermuda, but traveling anywhere. You just keep it as simple as possible. And you are a racehorse. You eat, you sleep, and you train, and and literally you get told what to do, and you do it, and the more you do that, generally the better you become.
Right. Youngster Tyler Smith, another triathlete, is also home and is encouraged by the training he has been receiving over in England.
It's a great environment. Some of the best triathletes in the world training there, so it's really just good to be into that training environment. And I think my result at Junior Worlds this year sort of reaffirmed and gave me more confidence in the program, seeing that I was able to go from where I was, which was in the 40s, to 11th within this time of 1 year, and largely due to that program is something that I've really sort of taken away and has helped build to my confidence and helped me invest further in the program.
Prior to you leaving, what would you say your strength was? And now, after a year and a bit in the program, what do you think your strength is now?
I'd say that swimming and cycling were my strengths before, and they largely still are. But that being said, my running has, I think, improved pretty significantly over the last year, and as well as my swimming and cycling. So they're all getting better probably at the same rate, but since I started off with more of an advantage as a swim cyclist, that's still my best.
A new chapter in the rivalry between beaten America's Cup skipper Jimmy Spithill and the Kiwi Sailors has emerged. This after Spithill was at the center of a Sydney-Hobart controversy involving a protest between heavyweight entries Wild Oats 11 and LDV Kamachi. Spithill's Kamachi team is the new record-holding Sydney to Hobart Line Honours champion after Wild Oats was penalized an hour and demoted to second place for breaking race rules. It is only the third time in the prestigious race's 73 edition history that a yacht has lost line honours due to a penalty. The crew of Kamachi, helmed by Ozzy Spithill, who was hammered on the water in Bermuda in the America's Cup final against New Zealand, were left waving wildly towards Wild Oats after narrowly avoiding a collision just after the race got underway on Boxing Day. Spithill was heard yelling, "That was way too close," as millions of dollars worth of damage was only just avoided. In the evening radio call, Kamachi owner Jimmy Cooney said they would complete their protest after raising the red flag at the time of the incident, but Wild Oats navigator Ian Burns claimed, "We didn't think there was any infraction." Midland in Ontario will host the 2018 Pan American Cyclocross Championships. The regional event will take place in Little Lake Park in both 2018 and 19. 44 nations from across the Americas, including Bermuda, are eligible to compete. It marks the first time that Canada has played host to the annual event, and it will take place next year, November 3rd and 4th.
Tonight's sports has been brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Island Soul, where fashion meets comfort. Island Soul provides fashionable footwear hand-selected by our podiatrist that offers premium comfort. Located at 60 Victoria Street, Hamilton, Island Soul contains a friendly trained staff prepared to assist you with our vast selection of footwear, both male and female, with all sizes and widths available. Compression and travel socks amongst other accessories are also available in addition to a shoe modification and repair service, making Island Soul a one-stop shop for all your footwear needs.
How much do you want for the cake? You accept doggy biscuits?
Are MRIs safe for patients with cardiac devices? And more doctors may be prescribing exercise for brain health. Laura Podesta has the day's top health stories.
Exercising twice a week may improve thinking and memory in patients with mild cognitive impairment. That's according to a new guideline from the American Academy of Neurology. Mild cognitive impairment is common with aging and can progress to dementia. Symptoms include becoming forgetful and having trouble with complex tasks. The internet could help more people get tested for sexually transmitted diseases. London researchers studied more than 2,000 people and showed testing rates for STDs were nearly doubled in a group offered internet-based testing compared to those going to health clinics to get tested. And a new study in the New England Journal of Medicine suggests MRIs are safe for patients with pacemakers or defibrillators. Safety concerns often keep patients with those devices from having an MRI, but researchers looking at 1,500 patients found no long-term clinically significant problems. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
And that's our broadcast for this evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Thanks for watching. Have a safe and happy New Year. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.